At number 10 we have Kasagatha, a giant ball of tentacles from a cosmic world too insane for our minds to understand. She is one of the oldest beings in the universe and is known for having a fierce temper. It's said that she can use her tentacles to reach out and pluck any living thing from its home and devour it in one bite. And if that wasn't enough to freak you out, I have a video that might be this queen of terror flying through Earth. Wow, that looked terrifying. If I ever saw something like that coming in a fog, I think I would just go back inside and watch Infinity War again. I'd be like, yeah, that's how I want to go out. I don't have any choice right now. I'm gonna die doing this. And of course, there's a good chance that this video is edited, but what's the fun in that? Let's believe together that there's a giant squid monster out there that would kill any of us in a moment and can make you drift into madness just from looking at it. That's cool. At number 9, we have Gnast. The Gnast are some of the smaller creations from the Lovecraftian universe. They have long, slim arms and legs, kind of like a Slender Man crossed between some sort of feral dude. They also have humanoid faces but lacking noses and ears. They have sharpened teeth and kangaroo-like legs with hooves for feet. Their bodies are hairless and their skin is pale white. They are about the same size as a man, and all these characteristics sound very similar to the extremely popular creepypasta, The Rake. There are so many similarities between these two monstrosities, and there is a ton of online reports of people seeing the Rake in real life or being attacked by this creature. So most of you are like, well, those are fake. But if even one of them is true, we might have a Gnast running around trying to kill people, and it just has been named something else for a new generation. At number 8, we have the Deep Ones. Fish-like humanoids that look a lot like the King Zora from Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. They will sometimes mate with humans who they find wandering by large bodies of water. But I can't imagine these creatures would be that sexy. In other words, you wouldn't want them to swim up to you and give you a nice fishy cold kiss unless you want to know what the ocean tastes like. Ugh. They live deep underwater and worship the fish god Dagon. With their fishy features and interest in mating with people, it sounds a lot like mermaids. Basically, they all do the same things, and mermaids have been sighted and reported throughout history. In the 17th century, Captain Richard Whitbourne reported seeing mermaids off the coast of Newfoundland. He said that they were beautiful and they would try to seduce him. Sounds a lot like the Deep Ones. All these underwater creatures are a horny bunch, that's for sure. At number 7, we have Dagon. Dagon? Correct me in the comments. This massive immortal fish who the Deep Ones pray to. He is their god, and due to his massive size and power, he has earned the right to be worshipped. He is an old great one. He belongs to the same family as the Lovecraft superstar Cthulhu. It is his destiny to mate with Mother Hydra. I assume to make a lot more crazy fish monsters that would take over the world. And we might have some footage of him for you. That footage was from a hurricane moving through Miami, and if I was a giant cosmic fish monster, I would say that a massive storm would be my main form of transportation. Also, that noise it makes is terrifying. Like most mythical creatures, there isn't a clear shot of it. Maybe they all have a hidden power to blur themselves out of any sort of footage. The good news is that if Dagon is real, he likes to be worshipped. So we can make some sort of deal with him. We pray to you, you don't kill humanity, everybody wins. At number 6, we have Mygos. These guys are trippy and have a lot going on. They look like some sort of crustacean that has reproduced with a fungus and then sprouted wasp wings. They are extremely intelligent and able to travel through the solar system and beyond with ease. They take humans from Earth and transport them to Pluto and remove their brains. They worship the old gods and once waged war on the elder things prior to humans walking the Earth. Their appearance being crossed between an insect and a fungus reminds me of something that still exists here on Earth. Let's have a look at this.
From this bulbous container, spores will be cast into the air currents, where they will claim more ant victims. But it's not just ants. Many others are infected by the cordyceps fungus.
That was the cordyceps fungus. It infects insects, driving their minds crazy until they die. Then the fungus will grow out of their dead bodies, spreading to other insects. These deformed corpses of insects look very close to the description of the Mygos. The Mygos existed on Earth long before people ever walked the Earth, and there are some biologists who think that fungus are even older than the Earth and that they could have come from space. Could this fungus be a descendant of the Lovecraftian monster, slowly getting stronger, taking over minds one by one until it's able to reclaim the earth and return to its final form. At number 5, you have the Night Gaunts. These are demonic looking creatures that have featureless faces, dark thick skin, large bat-like wings, and clawed hands. Nightmares of these creatures would torment H.P. Lovecraft when he was a child. I would assume that Lovecraft had a mind for the dark and twisted from an early age, and that's how he was able to come up with so many terrifying beasties. The description of these creatures seems to be very similar to many beings that have been mentioned throughout history, like gargoyles, demonic winged creatures that would come alive only at night, sometimes to snatch away children, or even demons from the Bible, flying out of fiery hell to consume the people of Earth and spread darkness. Maybe all the nightmarish night gaunts that Lovecraft saw when he was a child weren't just in his head, but they were really tormenting him, trying to take him away and corrupt his soul. He had to tell himself that they were just part of his imagination so he could stay sane. Now a few viewers are going to grow up with a fear of gargoyles and then remember this video 15 years from now when they're in therapy. At number 4, we have the Gloon. A trickster and a horror. Gloon originally presented itself to man in the form of the Greek god of wine Dionysus, but it didn't take long for his true form to come out and terrify his victims. Its real form is that of a giant slug with thick skin and a body that is long and grotesque. It is able to manipulate the minds of the people around him either for consumption, worship, or to do its bidding. It's said that Gloon has been locked away in the sunken city of Atlantis but is still able to use its powers to manipulate people. It will force them to walk into the ocean and drown themselves. This is the beast's helpless attempt at trying to get some poor soul to free it from its prison. There have been tales of demons that walk around in the forests of Peru. They will find people who are sleeping, whisper to them in their sleep, and then lead them to water. It's said that the demon will then drown them and then take them to their underwater world. This could be Gloon using its powers to try and free itself. Let's hope it stays locked up. At number 3, we have Nyarlathotep. He is also one of the great cosmic gods of the Lovecraftian universe, but what makes him so much more dangerous than the rest of the ones we have gone over so far is that he is not asleep. The other gods stay in a constant hibernation, but not Nyarlathotep. He has been banished from Earth, but that doesn't mean he won't use his great power to visit the Earth in various ways. It's said that he has 1,000 other forms. He usually comes to Earth in the form of a pharaoh or leader of a cult, someone to gain praise from followers and try to increase his power. So perhaps we have seen him, we just never knew it. Some cults that have popped up throughout history could have been the great god in disguise. The infamous cult leader Jim Jones talked of alien beings and how his followers' souls would be transported into space. Could this have been the work of the Lovecraftian monster all along? At number 2 on our list is Azeroth. This is probably the Lovecraftian monster that I am most afraid of. Azeroth is a cosmic being that sits at the center of the universe and is constantly lulled to sleep by the song of a powerful god. It's Azeroth who created the universe, and if he ever wakes up, it will be he who ends it. His consciousness is life and death. Now, how could anyone ever see something that sits at the center of the universe? Well, if this creature exists, then proof of it would be the Big Bang. The cosmic microwave signals that are picked up throughout the universe could be the murmurs of its sleep. Let's just hope that the being singing to it never loses its tune. And for our number 1 spot, we have Cthulhu. So I had 2 options here. I could have left Cthulhu off the list because everyone knows Cthulhu, or I could have just slapped him at number 1. And I was like, dude, this guy's the poster boy for the whole brand of this genre of horror, and we might have a clip of him caught on camera. He's got the wings, he's got the size, and he's making that horrible booming noise. A video like this is enough to make you go on a conspiracy theory deep dive. Out of all the footage I've shown you so far, I would say that I believe this one is real the most. It just kind of looks like the real thing. Of course, if it is real, you better put a squid on your head and start praying to your new god, because all the other ones are dead.
Zoom in a little more. To the left, there, back a bit. And right. Oh my god!
It's the creepy video that freaked everyone out.
The Goat Man terrorizes us at number 10. Can you guys think of anything scarier, than meeting a creature that had a head and legs of a goat, but had the body of a human? Is this real life right now? Well, what if I told you guys that the Goat Man is also notorious for carrying around a large axe? I mean, seriously? Well, as it turns out, it might be real. According to this legend, the Goat Man was created by a scientist whose experiment went horribly wrong. He transformed into half man, half billy goat. And I guess he didn't like what he saw in the mirror because he took out his rage on people with an axe. This legend took off in 1971, and now people are saying that the Goat Man wanders around in the woods. And he's looking for any living creatures to torment with his sharpened axe. And maybe he just wants dinner. Climbing into our list at number 9, we have the skunk ape. Yeah, I'll be the first one to say it. His name doesn't really sound that appealing at all. It sounds pretty smelly. Well, apparently these monsters are known for having a really bad stench, and they can supposedly be found lurking in Florida. Well, sorry about that, Florida, for you guys watching over there. Well, the skunk ape is said to be about 7 feet tall and looks like a gorilla that smells 100 times worse. Sightings of the skunk ape date back to the 1940s, but in 2000, a sheriff's department received an anonymous letter that had several pictures of the smelly monster wandering around at night. Oh, and there is also this footage. So what do you guys think? Could this be a real life skunk ape? Bigfoot comes stomping on this list at number 8. Yeah, that's right. We have an oldie but a goodie. Honestly, some people are quick to write off Bigfoot as nothing more than an old urban legend, but I bet most of you would be horrified if you actually saw this 15-foot hairy beast coming close to your campsite.
Seriously, look how big it is. I don't think it is a human. I think it's a sapling.
There are actually a ton of reports of people seeing a Bigfoot wandering around North America for at least a century. So, I mean, how can this one be made up? Is no one else concerned that there might actually be a giant hairy ape man bulldozing through our forests? There was even a website dedicated to documenting every sighting that happened in each state. Giant apes used to exist in the past, so it could be plausible that maybe they never went extinct. And judging by the unexplainable footprints and other Bigfoot evidence that we've stumbled upon, I'm not ready to rule anything out. Flying into number 7 on our list, we have the Thunderbird. Most people say that the Thunderbird is just a mythological creature from Native American folklore. But then again, how can we be so sure? The Thunderbird is so large and strong, people used to say that it can carry a whale in their talons. And because of its size, lots of people are arguing that the Thunderbird couldn't exist in our time without being seen. Well, I guess it's hard to miss something, that large. But what if the Thunderbird was real and he just went extinct? It's definitely something that I would have to see to believe.
This is an actual bird or a large child in a...
Biting into our number 6 spot, we have the Chupacabra. The legend of this monster first began over in Puerto Rico in the late 1990s. People said that he's about 5 feet tall, he has large black eyes, spikes running down its back, and he has a very sharp long claw. The Chupacabra is blamed for literally sucking the life out of its livestock because it enjoys drinking the blood from unsuspecting animals.
Mysterious Chupacabra, an elusive animal said to feed off the blood of livestock. Well, that question has residents in Nelson County buzzing after a farmer captures the unusual animal.
If this is real, who's to say that he won't try to suck the blood from us, from humans? Flying into number 5, we have the Mothman. If you're having problems picturing what this, what this might look like, because I'm thinking like the Mothman. A man with like butterfly wings. Well, this is what it looks like. We have a giant terrifying human with glowing red eyes and wings. Now that I think about it, the Mothman kind of sounds like a demon. Back in 1966 in West Virginia, lots of people started reporting seeing the Mothman in the flesh. Everyone described him, the exact same way, and for months, more and more people reported sightings, but they all suddenly just stopped in December of 1967. So did the Mothman become extinct, or is he just hiding himself a lot better? But wait, get this. Before the last reporting, a bridge in the US cracked, which sent dozens of cars to fall in the river. When the bridge fell, 46 people died, and the deaths were immediately connected to the Mothman because, well, people saw a strange large creature with wings and red eyes right before the bridge collapsed. I mean, coincidence? Maybe, but maybe not. The Jersey Devil breaks his way onto this list at number 4. Well, let me show you guys a picture of what the heck I am talking about. Is this real life right now? This ugly monster is said to have the wings of a bat, the face of a horse, and the tail of a lizard. So yeah, it's safe to say that you would never want to run into this hideous creature in a dark alley, but if you live in New Jersey, that might be a scary reality for you. Oh, and Yeah, let's not forget about the small arms with sharp claws, creepy hooves, and his forked tail. People who have apparently seen the Jersey Devil have said that he moves really fast and he is capable of yelling a high-pitched, blood-curdling scream. Should I demonstrate what that scream sounds like? No, I don't want your ears to start bleeding. Number 3, we have the bunyip. Don't be fooled by its name. It actually might sound like a cute variation of a bunny, but trust me, this thing will haunt your worst nightmares. No one knows exactly what the bunyip looks like, but everyone knows that they should avoid it at all costs. It's known to swallow children and livestock whole if they get too close to the edge of the water. This creature is an aquatic mammal, and it will release a loud shriek right before it pounces on its victim and devour them. The bunyip was reportedly spotted in Australia by Aboriginals, and it was last seen in the mid-1800s. Some people who think that this is just a hoax have gone too close to the riverbed and they were never seen or heard from again. So would you guys want to risk it? I don't think so. Up next, number 2, we have the Dover Demon. This creepy guy is a really famous cryptid that has been spotted around Dover, Massachusetts. He's being described as a gray or white creature that has large glowing eyes and abnormally long fingers. He can walk on 2 feet, but as creepy as it might sound, he prefers running on all 4s. The first sighting was in 1977, when 2 different people reported seeing the Dover Demon in different parts of the town. They both drew sketches of it, and both sketches almost looked identical. I don't know about you guys, but I'm thinking he might be real, and if that's the case, I feel bad for you guys who live out there in Massachusetts. Be careful. Sinking its way into our number 1 spot, we have the Kraken. According to the folklore, the Kraken, well, it's a giant sea monster that dwells off the coast of Norway and Greenland.
What's that? Holy moly, what was that? Whoa!
The legend of the Kraken has been around since the 18th century, and apparently sailors who spotted this beast said that it was a giant squid that was so large that when any part of its body was stuck out of the water, it looked like a floating island. But that's not all. Sailors have said that the Kraken would use its large tentacles to engulf ships and drag them down into the icy water. This monster is also known to cause a deadly whirlpool just by submerging itself underwater. Paleontologists have argued that during the prehistoric times, the ocean was once home to 100-foot long squids, and they would feed on whale-sized animals. So could the Kraken actually be real? Well, you know what? I'll let you guys be the judge of that.
Starting us off, number 10 is the Floating City. On October 7, 2015, in the city of Foshan, China, a rare mirage occurred in which a city seemed to be floating in the sky. This was literally seen by thousands of people. It wasn't just a trick of the light or someone lying about it. The footage literally looks like a city. You can see the blocks of the buildings and it looks like a skyline. The whole incident only lasted a few minutes before disappearing, but it did end up on the Chinese news. Some people believe it was due to a government project that only the elite know about, and therefore it was just dismissed as some kind of reflection of some kind, whereas other people believe it's actually Fata Morgana, which basically just means a very superior form of a mirage. Don't know why they have to give it a fancy name. Either way, I don't think a whole city can somehow become a mirage for a few minutes, but I'm also no scientist, so the wildest explanation I read was that it was part of the Blue Beam project, which is a secret project developed by the US, and the point of it is to manipulate the weather and create artificial natural disasters. I don't know why they would want to fake create that. And the mirage they saw was them testing it out to see how the public would react to it. Don't know why they did it in China though, I doubt they did, but there's that too. Coming in at number 9 is the Death Cloud. Back in 2017, residents of Terceira de Freitas in Brazil saw a menacing sight in the clouds. They dubbed it the Apocalyptic Cloud or the Death Cloud, and the videos literally looks like a red claw has emerged from hell and is reaching into the sky. And the whole thing was red and it looked like it was a shadow of a meteor that was just about to hit Earth but then stopped a bit before it did. It dissipated into nothing within 5 minutes, but residents were truly terrified. Someone thought the world was ending, another thought it was going to form a tornado, whereas some people saw it as the work of God and called it perfection. It really is a mixed bag of reactions really. Perfection on one hand, death cloud on the other, whatever you want really. At number 8 we have the Black Ring. Back in 2015 in Kazakhstan, a video was uploaded by someone living in the village of Shortandi, I don't know, the pronunciation wasn't on Google, don't come for me. They captured what appeared to be a giant black smoke ring in the sky that floated there for 15 minutes minutes and then disappeared as smoke usually tends to do. Now this sort of sight has been seen thrice before, once in Leamington, but that was due to a fireworks test, another time in Florida, but that was due to a pyrotechnic test, and another one in Chicago due to an electrical transformer blowing up. Nice. Either way, after investigation, nothing seemed to have happened to have caused the ring. No fire-related activity, no blown-up transformer, nothing. People were speculating whether it was the work of witchcraft or perhaps the portal to hell. Filling our number 7 slot is the Phoenix Light. Back in 2017, a Phoenix City camera, as well as thousands of other cameras owned by normal people, caught sight of something incredible. The whitish bluish fireball can be seen appearing out of nowhere in the sky and hurtling towards Earth as it gets bigger and brighter and then disappears altogether like it was never even there. Now most people speculated it was a meteor, but many remained unconvinced and looked towards the extraterrestrial as a possible explanation. What do you guys think? Now at number 6 is the Face Cloud. This one happened in 2011 in a place called Grand Falls, which is in New Brunswick, Canada. Dennis LaForge was watering his plants when he looked at the sky and took out his iPhone. The clouds in the video are moving extremely quickly, well quicker than the average cloud would move, and the cloud formation then starts forming a giant face. I kid you not, a giant face. The face gets more detailed as it moves forward, and it almost seems like the face is the thing propelling the cloud forward. The space for eye sockets is visible, a nose, lips, a chin. It's so detailed it's not even funny. People dubbed it the face of God gliding across the sky. The only explanation George Isaac had, who is a senior cloud scientist, was that clouds come in all sorts of shapes and sizes. Thank you, George, for that insightful commentary. Even I could have said that, and I'm not a senior cloud scientist. Coming in at number 5 is the UFO cloud. This one was uploaded by YouTube user UFOVNI, who is a Philadelphia resident. Now we've seen weirdly shaped clouds before, it's definitely not uncommon, but some people believe that UFOs sometimes hide in the clouds to avoid being detected, whereas others go a step further and believe that UFOs can disguise themselves as clouds. I mean, never say never, right? So in this video there seems to be a random small cloud in the sky, but then as you continue watching, the cloud starts moving and shifting in a really weird way. The cloud seems like it's reflective of light and transparent, and it's moving through the sky with a purpose and a lot quicker than a normal cloud. It's even moving faster than the clouds directly around it. The cloud also had different lights in it, and the user went on to narrate he had never seen anything like that in his life, and after watching the video, neither have I. At number 4 is the cloud wave. Back in 2010 on a beach in Helsinki, Finland, people were enjoying their Sunday off at the beach when they suddenly saw a massive dark dramatic cloud coming right towards them. Now they initially thought it was a storm cloud, so no real panic had ensued at that point, and I don't even believe it's a storm cloud to be honest, because I've never seen one so vast and dark and low in the sky. Beachgoers said they felt it was so low they could actually touch it. In the video it literally looks like the cloud will devour anything in its path, like it's the doomsday cloud. I'm not even kidding you. Birds literally flew out of the way of this cloud because it was that ominous. No explanation given, just a bunch of terrified tanned Finnish people. Filling our number 3 slot is the yellow flash. In November of 2013, over the city of Sverdlovsk in Russia, a giant flash happened in the sky. Now mind you, this was at night, so the sky was pitch black 1 second, and then all of a sudden it went red, then orange, then yellow, and then it expanded and took over more of the sky as it changed color. It lasted mere seconds, but it was unmistakable, and there were no military bases near the area, so explanations involving that or disposing of explosives was ruled out. The next explanation was that perhaps it was a bolide linked to the peak of the Leonids meteor shower, but lights from meteors are usually blue or green or white because of their temperature, so that wasn't it either. Either way, no one knows where the flash came from, but it came and went, and everyone's just gonna pretend like it never even happened. That's brilliant. Let's just continue doing that. Now at number 2 are the fireballs. This one was seen in Canada, and I'm actually speechless over what it could possibly be. It looks like some sort of CGI stuff or some effect of some kind, but it's 100% real. In the sky there seemed to be 2 flaming balls that had constant streams of white smoke coming out the top of them. But that wasn't even the weirdest part. There seemed to be a line connecting the 2 fireballs, but it wasn't a line, it looked like an electricity link of some kind. It was a straight white line with electrical current seemingly coming off of it. They moved straight across across the sky on the trajectory of this line, and no one had any explanation whatsoever on what it was, how it got there, or that energy line connecting them both. And finally, at number 1 are the dancing lights. This one genuinely freaked me out when I watched the footage, I'm not even gonna lie. This one took place in Greenwood, Indiana, and Quaid M13 uploaded quite an HD video of it onto YouTube. Now in the video, the sun itself is behind some clouds that you can see very clearly, but on the left of it there's a stream of yellow light that comes and goes and dances in different directions. It's the exact same color and brightness as the sun's light, and honestly, just imagine someone trapped a sun ray in a flashlight and then they were just doing this in clouds. That's exactly what it looked like. The video goes on for 2.5 minutes, and the only explanation people have offered is that perhaps it was a crown flash. And crown flash is due to ice crystals in a cirrus cloud merging with the electrical field of a rising cumulus cloud. I never knew I'd know so much about clouds, but now I do. While the field changes, the crystals snap and move, reflecting sunlight in different ways, hence we saw them dancing. Now some people fully believe that this explanation is the right one, and others say that there's no way that that was that. You guys choose whichever explanation you like.